Hello, majors. Today we're going to go over Unit 3, Day 4. And this is just reviewing and going over a little bit more of the parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So it says, find the equation of a line that passes through each pair of points. I'm going to try this one. I'm going to end because I want you to see this. I noticed right away that x is 5 on M and x is 5 on N. So that's something really important I want you to see. I'm going to show you our first step is to always find the slope. We need the slope and a point. We're given 2 points. So we need to find the slope, which is y minus y over x minus x. That is a formula for slope. You can have your other notes out that have that little cheat sheet on it. So your slope equals, remember your x's come first, and then your y's are second. It's alphabetical order. So your slope is 3 minus 8 divided by 5 minus 5. Okay? And 3 minus 8 is actually negative 5. And 5 minus 5 is 0. We can have 0 on top, that slope will be 0, but when 0 is in the denominator, that's not okay, right? We cannot divide by 0. So I know that this slope is going to be undefined. So my slope is undefined, right? Undefined. And I know that this is going to be a vertical line. All vertical lines have undefined slope. And I know that this equation for this line is going to be x equals a number. Whatever number is repeated, you guys see that x is 5 and x is 5. This is going to be x equals 5. Now I want you guys to try number 1. You're going to do the same thing, find the slope, and then we're going to plug it into the equation of a line. Number 2, it says find the slope of each line. Remember, slope, or the symbol for slope, is the m. So this m in front of the x, and it's always going to be in front of the x unless it is undefined or 0. And our slope for a, our m, is 3. And our slope in front of this x, still our m, equals negative 2/3. All right. Find the slope in the equation of a line. I'm going to do one of them for you and want you guys to try the other one. Don't assume that they're parallel, even if they look pretty parallel, okay? So remember, our slope is rise over run. The slope of A, I can actually use the slope formula, or what I can do is I can just count rise over run. From this point to this point, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And I'm going to go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So since it's going from left to right, it's going up. I know it's positive 5 over 4, rise over run. Now I'm going to do the slope for B. B, I'm going to do the same thing. I know it's going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to get to this point. And I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So I'm doing the same thing actually. Up 5 over 4. So these slopes are the same. The equation of a line for A, I can just plug it into y equals mx plus b, except for A, you guys see it doesn't really cross the y-axis through the corner, so you would really have to kind of estimate. So instead, I'm going to use a point. I'm going to use this point up here. For A, I need to find out which point that is. So I'm going to write it in black. And this point right here is, it looks like it's over 1 and up 2. So this is x value is 1, the y value is 2, 1, 2. I'm going to use this point. In the equation of a line, all I need is my slope and 1 point, which is, I can plug it into the formula, y minus y equals x. I'm going to spread it down. Y minus y is equal to my slope times x minus x. Right? That's my formula for a line. Y minus my y value is 2 is equal to the slope is 5 over 4. So I'm going to write that down. Times x minus my x value is 1. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing for B. but my point is going to be different in this one. So B, I'm going to use this point right here. Let me make it black. It looks like it's on the y-axis, which means my x value is 0, and my y value is down 2, so -2. That's my point. And I'm just going to plug it into the equation of a line, which is y minus my y value is -2 is equal to my slope is still 5/4, didn't change, parentheses x minus my x value is 0. So I can simplify that, just get rid of this. It's a little bit easier. I want you guys to try the next one, and I don't want you to guess, okay? I want you to really try to find the slope. Use your rise over run. Okay, the relationship between lines, when they're parallel, your slope is going to be equal, or you have the same slope. So that's what we're going to say. Parallel lines have the same slope. I don't know why it does this. Awesome. All right. Every parallel line to y equals 1/4 x minus 7 has a slope. Remember, our slope is in front of the x. So it has a slope of 1/4. 1/4. All right, guys, go ahead and flip your paper over. Number 2, it says write the parallel slope for the given lines. Remember, if our slope is parallel, or if our line is parallel, the slope is the same. So I will do a couple for you. I like to do B because you actually have to work it out. We have x minus 8y equals -2. But we need the y, we needed our equation solved for y. So in order to do this, I need to subtract x, move it to the other side of the equation. So I have -8y is equal to -x minus 2. And then in order to solve for y, get y by itself, I have to divide by -8. But I have to divide everything by -8. Everything by -8. So I get y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive, still 1/8 x. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 2/8 simplifies to 1/4. I will show you how to write that in your calculator. So my slope for this line is actually 1/8, 1/8. And so my parallel slope is going to be, again, 1/8, right? So my slope for x equals 5, my slope is undefined. So if I wanted to find another line, it also has to be undefined. So something like x equals any other number, 7 is another parallel line, but my slope, they're asking us for the slope, is undefined. For C, my slope is 0. So any slope that has the same slope as 0. So y equals 4, maybe another parallel line would be y equals any other number, maybe like -2, something like that. Find the slope and the equation of each line. So let's try one. Let's try A. Line I has the slope of, so this is line I right here. In order to find the slope, what we're going to have to do is use the slope formula. Let's not guess, or we can actually count this one. So we're going to do rise over run. I'm going up 1, 2, and I'm going to the right 1. So my slope is 2/1, which is actually just 2. J is going to be down 1 and then over 2. So it's actually going to be -1/2. Equation of line A. So we're going to use a point. We need a point. I'm going to use the same point for both. You guys see they intersect right here. I'm going to use the exact same point for both, since they both have that point. And that point looks like it's going to be 0 because it's on the y-axis. 0, and it looks like it went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0, 5. is this point right here. And I can use it for both. So for I, I'm going to say y minus my y value is 5 is equal to the slope of I is 2, parentheses, use your parentheses, x minus my x value is 0. All right. You guys can do the same thing for j. You're going to just plug in the same letters, but my slope is going to be different. Let's try b. B, you know, if it's a vertical line, my slope is undefined. If it's a horizontal line, my slope is 0. So for L, my slope is 0, and for K, my slope is undefined. The equation of line K, if it's undefined, it's going to be x equals, you guys can kind of tell it right here, x equals 1, 2, 3, right? So at this point, y is 0, x is 3. At this point, y is 2, but x is 3. At this point, x is 3. At this point, x is 3. So it's going to be x equals 3. For equation of line L, it's going to be y equals 1, 2, 3. So right here, y is 3. Right here, y is 3. Every little point on line L, y is going to be 3. Positive 3. So we're going to look at perpendicular lines. We just looked at a pair of perpendicular lines. Perpendicular means that they intersect to form a 90-degree angle. And now we're going to learn about their slopes. So the slope of a perpendicular line, they're going to have opposite reciprocals. Okay, so this word perpendicular, we want a line, every line perpendicular to y equals negative 5x plus 2 has a slope of, so the opposite means, what is the opposite of a negative? That's going to be now a positive. Reciprocal means, what is the reciprocal of 5? 5 has a 1 underneath it. So when we flip that, that's going to be 1/5. Now it's positive 1/5. Every single particular line is going to have a slope of positive 1/5. Okay. So negative 5 is the same as negative 5/1. That's the same thing. Okay. Number 4, it says write the perpendicular slope for the given slope. The perpendicular for positive 5, remember positive 5 is the same as 5/1. So we're going to make it the opposite, which means make it negative. And then it was 5/1, so the reciprocal is 1/5. So 2/7, the opposite is going to be negative, and then the reciprocal is 7/2. Negative 10, the opposite is positive, and 10/1 is going to be 1/10. Negative, the opposite is going to be positive, 3/8, reciprocal. 0, the perpendicular to 0 is undefined. I hope you guys see that pattern. It says write the slope of the line that would be perpendicular to the given line. I hope you guys can do these two. We've done them twice already. So for this one, for this 2/3, remember this is your slope. I need to find the perpendicular. It is positive, so now it's going to be negative. And then the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. For b, in order to figure it out, you're going to have to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract my 5x to move it to the other side. Then I'm going to divide by negative 8. Everything needs to be divided by negative 8. So my y is equal to positive 5/8 x plus 1/4. We've done this. Now my perpendicular slope to positive 5/8, my perpendicular slope is negative 8/5. Fractions are pretty easy. to do. This is kind of like a review. Let's try number 7. You guys can try number 6. Write the equation of the line perpendicular to this line passing through this point. In order to make the equation of a line, we need the slope. Perpendicular to 1/4, it was positive, so now it's going to be negative. It was 1/4, now it's going to be 4/1, right? 4/1 is just 4, and then we can use this point. So we're going to use our equation of a line, y minus y is equal to our slope times x minus x. Y minus my y value is 1 equals my slope is going to be -4. Parentheses, use your parentheses, guys. X minus my x value is 3. And now all you have to do is solve for y. I hope you guys have a great night. I want you guys to try number 6. Make sure your notes are filled in, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.